Hey guys, my name is Austin Jarman, and we'll be looking at the original sin, the first coup in Pakistan today, and let's get started. So, quick background recap, just super quick. We all know this, we've all watched a bunch of these videos. So, we have partition in 1947, that split Pakistan from India. And in 1956, we had the first drafting of the Constitution, or the first Pakistani drafting of the Constitution. And as we know, Pakistan has focused on their military from partition all the way up to their Constitution and all the way up until now. And what's important to know about that gap between partition and the Constitution is that Pakistan had no constitution, had no governing body, so it really had no direction. And in 56, they create their constitution. It is spearheaded or kind of like projected by a guy named Mirza. And because he took the value of the constitution and brought it to the people, he was put up as a president of Pakistan. And he was really popular. He had a lot of trust in the people. He was generally seen as a pretty good guy, and he had really good intentions for Pakistan. He wasn't perfect, no one's perfect, but internationally seen as a good guy, and I see him almost as the same as Jinnah, where if they had a potential or if they had the ability to go forward, I think Pakistan would have been in a better place. So Mirza, he becomes president. He wanted a strong, independent Pakistan, and he looked to Britain, he looked to other independent nation states, um, and he saw, hey, we could make a strong, stable, rule of law following country. Um, and he saw four prime ministers, I think, through his presidency. He had a lot of turnover in around him in his political environment. Um, so lots of prime ministers in and out leaving. He saw the military not being very genuine, not being very good. So he said, hey, my nation is in turmoil. I'm going to declare martial law. And that declaring a martial law was seen as a positive move, a good thing internationally and within Pakistan. It stabilized Pakistan, and generally a good idea or a good action. Um, who we have underneath Mirza is Ayub Khan. He was Mirza's right-hand man, and he rose up through the military from riding a donkey to school to becoming Mirza's right-hand man. So, kind of living the American dream in Pakistan. But I think 13 weeks it was after Mirza set martial law to stabilize his country, Ayub Khan stood up and overthrew Mirza, setting a precedence really that democracy isn't going to work, general elections aren't going to work, because to get to the top in Pakistan you got to overthrow the current leader, and to get to the top of the military you kind of got to be corrupt. So he set corruption and coups as a precedent within Pakistan. So how does this shape the history of Pakistan? We have both bad and good. Bad from Mirza setting martial law, to Ayub throwing him over, and then not being the best kind of guy. We have a precedent. We already talked about that. So also, most of what we have studied already, the problems within Pakistan, can be drawn back to this moment, because really Mirza started to unify Pakistan for the first time in its history. Um, so most of Pakistan's problems come from disunity and corruption, extremism, and really, if you can bring it back to them. The good from Mirza, we already talked about, the temporary relief seen as a positive action, setting that martial law. So in the long run, it was a negative, but in the immediate, it was positive. So what does this mean to us now? It means Pakistan as it is now. We just talked about that. We have our current international relations within um, Southern Asia and the Middle East, with Afghanistan and Islamic terrorism and extremism, um, but also non-Pakistani applications. So to us Americans, it basically means that we need to keep our leaders politically honest, and we need to hold them to the rule of law. We need to vote and hold our voice, um, so our country can stay strong, it can stay honest and virtuous. And if we see someone who is diverting that or doing something negative to our political belief, not our beliefs, but our political integrity, we need to stand up and say, hey, we can't set that precedent, and we need to stay true to who we are, and follow the rule of law and be the best country that we can be. So that's it. Um, Thanks for listening. Just quick recap. Mirza to Ayub Khan, setting that precedence of coups and corruption. And thanks.